Welcome to the Solocast of Firecode Tech. In these episodes, it's just going to be me, your host, Gus Gagliardi. There's going to be a range of topics, but I'm going to talk about specific technologies, installation standards, codes and how they work, as well as some other interesting topics that don't neatly fit inside of the context of a normal interview. Hello all, welcome to episode 31 of Firecode Tech. On this episode, we're talking about professional development. Yes, I think that professional development has always been a theme in Firecode Tech, so I wanted to take a moment today to speak to you all about some lessons learned that I have found over the last 2 years of producing the podcast. Today I want to talk about the benefits of understanding professional societies, technical resources, mentorship building, continuous development, and professional credentialing. If you're listening to this episode when it comes out, you can go check out another podcast by me, a video podcast with Aaron Johnson, where we speak on the Fire Protection Industry Affairs Virtual Summit. And we get to talk about an interview with me in a podcast and basically go over some of the different things I've learned starting the podcast and some tips for those who would have any interest in starting a podcast of their own. So yeah, I'll add a link down in the show notes if you want to check that out today. And if you miss it and you still want to view the podcast, I believe I'm going to have a chance to release it later, or you can buy a seat if it's the week after the week of the 21st of March in 2022 and go watch this podcast there as well. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode and follow us on social media. Oh, and if you want to give us a rate and review where you listen to your podcast, that would be a huge help. So today we're talking about professional development or professional advancement. So what does that mean? So to me, professional development is how, as a professional, do you continue to hone your skills and be appraised of what is happening in the industry and really keep a finger on the pulse of what is going on and continue to develop. So I've broken it down into a couple different categories. The first one I want to speak about, and I talk about this on a lot of different Firecode Tech interview episodes, is professional societies. So why I always recommend people joining and getting involved with professional societies is because there is so much to be gained from a personal level, from a network and building social skills level. It's really a great place to hone your skills to communicate and show a bit of community involvement. So professional societies are a huge benefit to not only you as a professional, but also it's a good way to give back. Being an extremely technically competent professional is important, but what's more important is the ability to make connections and to build relationships that will last a career and a lifetime. Participating in professional societies is a great way to be knowledgeable about your local community of fire protection professionals, and also you can even go broader than that to a national or global perspective in your professional societal involvement. I've had an opportunity to be involved in my local SFPE chapter and work on fundraising for events where we are raising money for scholarships. And also, it's been a great opportunity for me to make professional connections, whether it's in order to problem solve, like making connections with people in different areas of the fire and life safety community, like those who are technicians or authorities having jurisdictions. It's a great way to build your personal and professional network. Professional societies are generally starved for people who are interested to get involved and to, really be a part of moving the organization forward. So if you really do have interest in getting involved, I guarantee there's going to be an easy way for you to do that if you have a local community. And I bet if you stick around for a couple years, you could even be on one of the committee chairs or on the board because it takes time and effort to be involved in these societies, and people have busy lives. So if you want to reap some of the rewards and benefits of being involved in these professional societies, there's a low barrier to entry. The next subject I wanted to talk about is technical resources. So, what does this mean? So, this kind of pairs along with professional societies in that, where do you go to consume content about new trends or new technology in fire and life safety? So, these can, coincide with some of the other topics, but really, I just wanted to speak about, you know, the big two or the big three in the U.S. at least are, NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, SFPE, the Society for Fire Protection Engineers, and probably ICC, the International Code Council. These are three huge organizations in the U.S. and really kind of drive or are integrally involved in policy change and codes and standards change. So, being knowledgeable about their websites and how to navigate their resources, I like to speak a lot on the fact that NFPA documents are available for free online. So, any NFPA you can think of, you can go find it online for free if you just sign up for an account. And the same goes for ICC. If you need something from the building code, there are a variety of places you can go. One of them is the ICC website, and another place is an alternative website like Upcodes, who has online codes available for you to use for problem solving, which I do frequently. And SFPE frequently produces resources like webinars, free webinars, and FPE Extra is also an interesting read. About once a month, they'll put out an article. Also, have independent professionals or like bloggers who produce really interesting content on fire and life safety. A couple of my favorite are Joe Meyer, who produces Meyer Fire, Chris Campbell, who produces the Building Code blog, and then Jose Oliveira, who has been a guest on Fire Code Tech. If you go back and take a look at episode 30, I guess all of these have been a guest on Fire Code Tech. So I'm a fan of these professionals and the resources they put out, and that's why I've had them on the podcast. So I'll add some links to their stuff. But yeah, and then there are specific technology organizations like American Fire Alarm Association, National Fire Sprinkler Association, and American Fire Sprinkler Association. So that's AFAA, NFSA, and AFSA. And these companies or professional organizations put out free resources sometimes and paid resources out all the time. And they're really good and by people who sit on the committees and really have deep-seated knowledge of how the codes and standards process and structure works. So those are great technical resources to be appraised of. I wanted to talk on mentorship building, or developing a relationship, a mentor-mentee relationship, not only for your benefit but for the benefit of others. I think that in my career I have gained from mentoring and being mentored by other professionals, and it's been one of the best resources in my career. So finding someone who has a disposition for cultivating professionals or being a constructive member of a team and somebody who is not just interested in getting the job done but also interested in building people up is a great benefit. I give people the advice frequently to, find someone in your professional network who has the temperament to be a mentor. Not everybody has this ability to focus on what somebody needs to learn or steps to build upon. So it's a kind of active process of probing your professional and personal network in order to find somebody who's a good fit with you on a personal level and on a professional level to help each other out. I like to tell people that it is not a one-way mentorship is not a one-way street. So you need to bring something to the table as a mentee. You can't just always come with your hand out. So what you can do is, if you're asking for something, you can try to give it it doesn't always have to be a transactional relationship, but it is important to, treat people as a friend, treat people as, an equal, and to not just always treat it as professionally transactional, because after a while that doesn't create a long-term relationship. That just creates like, oh, so and so is approaching me again with something that they need, and they always approach me with something that they need. So really the more meaningful long-term picture of that relationship looks like, a friendship. You have a standing rapport with somebody, and you talk to them at some set interval. And then, in the instance in which you do need something, it's just like talking to a friend and approaching them about, you know, a different topic or subject in their life. It's not like hey, I just need this thing from you, and then I'm just going to disconnect and not speak to you again for another 6 months, and then when I need something else, I'll talk to you then. You know, people sometimes get discouraged, and I just want to say, if at first you don't find somebody who is the right fit for you for a mentor relationship, keep trying. Don't get discouraged, because sometimes you're not going to find it inside your company. Sometimes you might have to look outside of your immediate personal network and maybe reach out to people online. Maybe, think about where you would like your career to go and what you need to learn to get there, and reach out to the professionals in maybe your social media network or in other places to kind of build that knowledge resource that you are looking for. So this is something that's been extremely beneficial in my professional career is, if you have something that you're truly passionate about and you want to learn about, find somebody who shares that passion in the industry and reach out to them in a very transparent and open manner. Explain to them, kind of like what your goals and intentions are, and then, kind of try to build that rapport by reaching out to people. Well, I apologize, that was a bit of stream of consciousness, but I think I'm going to stop there for now. We only got into about half of the topics I wanted to speak about, but thank you guys so much for listening. Stay tuned. We got some really big stuff coming in the next couple weeks. We got the Virtual Affairs Summit, and we have the, joint episode with Wojek on the fire safety, or the fire science show, excuse me. And so those are going to be awesome, and I hope you're going to enjoy them. And so, keep an eye out. We got some cool stuff coming. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to share the episode with a friend if you enjoyed it. Don't forget that fire protection and life safety is serious business. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are by no means a professional consultation or a codes and standards interpretation. Be sure to contact a licensed professional if you are getting involved with fire protection and or life safety. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.